Ethics and Law in Education, presented by Noshamila Benti Masain. Ethics and Introduction. Ethics in Education and Legal Issues in Education. Ethics in education refers to the moral principles that guides the behavior of students, teachers, administrators, and policymakers. It involves making fair, just, and responsible decisions in teaching, learning, and school management. Meanwhile, legal issues in education refers to the laws and regulation that govern schools, teachers, and students. These laws ensure fairness, safety, and accountability in the education system. Significance of ethical and legal issues in the current educational landscape. So, I come up with three significant, which are addressing academic integrity and teachers' ethics. It is important because of the plagiarism, cheating, and teacher misconduct harm the credibility of the education system. Teacher must uphold professional ethics to be fair and just in assessment and grading. For example, a teacher favoring certain students based on personal bias can cause unfair grading. So, for the solution, school must have strict plagiarism policies and promote ethical behavior. And the last one, uh, the school can provide teacher training. Next one is protecting students' rights and well-being. It is important for students to have the right to education freedom to, of expression and privacy. For example, if a school shares students' personal data without consent, it violates privacy rights and can lead to data. For as a solution, school needs clear policies and students' rights, disciplinary actions, and digital safety reaches. And the last one is ensuring fair and equal access to education. It is important for the ethical and legal frameworks to ensure inclusivity for students for all backgrounds. For example, a lack of ramps for wheelchair users in school makes education inaccessible to disabled students. And solution that we can use is the school should implement anti-discrimination policies and provide equal learning opportunities for all. Contemporary issues in educational ethics and law. First, for students' rights. Definition: students' right refers to the legal and ethical protection students have within an educational setting. For example, freedom of expressions. Students have the right to express their views, but schools can set limits if speech disrupts learning. Secondly is academic freedom. The right of educators and students to explore ideas without fear and censorships. For example, teachers' right to teach controversial topic. School may restrict subjects like sexuality education, history, or political discussions. Thirdly, discrimination in school. For the definition, unequal treatment based on gender, disability, socioeconomic status, or race. For example, gender discrimination, girls may be discouraged from taking STEM subject because of the subject is more into male students. So we can see the gender discrimination over here. Fourth, cybersecurity and data privacy. Protecting students from cyber threats such as hacking, cyberbullying, and breaches. For example, cyberbullying, students who face harassment online, affecting mental and health. Impact on educational development. So I have come up with the four impacts, which are students' right violations that leads to unfair treatment, discourages free expressions. Second, limited academic freedom, restrict knowledge, hinder critical thinking. Third, discrimination that reduce equal opportunities, affect students' confidence. And the last one, cybersecurity threats. It can put student safety at risk and disrupt learning. So, for the example of impact, if students fear speaking up in class due to censorship, they won't develop independent thinking skills. And if cyberbullying is ignored, students may refuse to attend schools, affecting academic performance. Strategies to address these issues. So we have come up with four strategies, which are strengthening laws and school policies. We can update policies to protect students' rights, enforce law like Education Act 1996 to ensure fair treatment. And we can also introduce digital safety laws in school. For example, schools must require parental consent before using students' data online. And also currently uh, the school need to have the consent of the parents in posting their children's pictures through media socials. And second strategies is teachers training on ethics and legal responsibilities. We can train educators to handle ethical and legal issues, teach how to address discriminations, cyber threats, and censorship. So, for example, we can come up with the workshops on inclusive teaching methods, okay, to prevent gender bias in STEM, okay, because of STEM usually we promoting it to the male students, so we can see the gender bias over here. So number three, third strategies is integrating digital safety into the curriculum. We can teach students how to stay safe online, educate on cyberbullying preventions, and responsible social media use. So, for example, school can conduct awareness campaign, okay, on cyber threats, and also uh, on how students can manage their social media uh, in a good way, in a good manner. And lastly is promoting inclusivity and anti-discrimination measures, okay, so we can provide equal access to learning materials, ensure schools are accessible to all students regardless of ability or background. So, for example, government program supplies free laptops to students from low-income family. So, as a conclusion, ethical and legal issues in education impact students' rights, teaching freedoms, discrimination, and cybersecurity. Addressing these challenges requires stronger laws, teachers training, digital safety education, and inclusivity policies. And all stakeholders such as teachers, students, parents, and policymakers, need to work together to create a fair and safe learning environment. Thank you.